And we're live on the Meta Lab, ready to talk about everything that's interesting in gaming Heroclix. And good night, everybody. I'm just kidding. There's always something to talk about with this game. We love it a lot. It's just not a lot of news right now, except for a few delays, some bad news. But I am joined this week by my cohort, my other Jay in crime, Jay.
As we close the show, we'd like to thank our sponsor.
Check us out on Patreon for more 70-second videos of the Married with Clixed crew. Oh, God. Oh, sorry. We're going in hot and funny today because we don't have a lot to talk about, and there's not a lot of to carry on about that.
And we have a heat wave.
We have a massive heat wave, which is making me majorly delusional. Like, we're in the early parts of fall, and we're in the high 30s. I think in the U.S. you're looking in the 90s, 100s. I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but it's hot. It's hot up here. Ugh. That is the weather report. Jay, how's your week in Heroclix been?
What happened? I did the calculation. It was 91 Fahrenheit yesterday. That was great. What happened? Thursday I couldn't go to 401, and there was like a goon squad thing. I guess I should mention that I've taken over 401 on Sundays now, so if you want to see more of me and you're a local, come to 401 on Sunday. I've been doing some cool builds. Like this past week, we did Thor Floor, but with a little bit of a twist where I made it Golden Age, and then I said your floor can be from any Thor set. So that was good. I ended up running the Age of Ultron starter Thor, who is amazing now because he has full movement charge as long as he uses Quake. And Quake is a thing that's really good now with single target. So he flies across the map and smashes you. My new Chase Thunderstrike, who decided not to roll numbers above a 5, which was fun. Jane Foster, Scourge Prime, and I'm sure something else. I can't remember. It was fun. Technically, my only win was the buy, but it was a good time. And I also did the Clixed off Jeopardy thing, which is cool. I won that round, and I'm gonna be going into the final round, which I'm guaranteed to get the zipline map that I want no matter what. So that was fun. We had some good trivia questions, not in my round, but in the other 2 rounds from Chris Stockhouse. That was pretty cool to hear some of those obscure map questions, like one about the Karnak map from the Watchmen set, because that was at one point actually a modern game element that was relevant, and that's hilarious. And then that was yesterday, and that is it for me.
Cool. I did next to nothing involving Heroclix except start packing my stuff for October, to be brutally honest. I think my team's all set. I just got to do a second inventory and then just put it in a bag that I'm going to just not open until the event itself. So the only real thing I did this week was I played in a Magic the Gathering pre-release on Saturday. Yes, that's right. I went to my dark side, played some cards, and then got a copy of Codenames Duets for myself and my wife, Amber. And we had the superintendent politely knock on the door and remind us that we were laughing too loud, and the people below us probably didn't appreciate it. We didn't get an actual warning or a formal complaint, but my goodness. My goodness. We laugh a lot. So it was a fun game. But with that said, I did mention that we were planning for October. I got a chance to talk to Howard Brock so that I understood my commentary expectations, and as a result, I now have a rough schedule as to how I'm going to be available. I'm going to use that tonight with Jay, and hopefully Tom will be able to join us a little later tonight. Not on the show live, unfortunately. He'll be joining in our after show after we're done, in order to organize some kind of things for us and you guys, because Rocktober is a big event. It's a lot of space, and we're going to use that in order to kind of spend some time with you guys. So, with that said, let's talk about Rocktober, shall we, Jay? Anything you want to go on before we start talking about that?
Trying to think. I was gonna say, so how's completing the Thor set going for you, Mr. Completionist?
You know, I thought about it at one point, and then I realized I had too much to drink, so I probably shouldn't do that. When I sobered up, I realized it was a very bad idea in order to try to complete the Thor set right now. But I do got to say, Loki the Trickster in our Discord, congratulations, you psychopath. I apologize for your wallet, but way to go on collecting the entire set of the Mighty Thor. He's one of our patrons in our patron Discord, which we'll talk about a little later as to how you can get in on that one.
Yeah, my good friend Jeremiah, he completed the set within 2 weeks of release, give or take, somehow. Complete insanity. And I've been trying to get a bill, and that is apparently, I think he's like, there's a conspiracy where he comes with illegal drugs or something, because he is going for way too high than you would think, considering.
Well, he's got a cloud that makes him very hard to see. In fact, you have to be very close to him at first to see him. That cloud is probably quite. You know what? I'm just going to stop there because this is a family show. And Aaron is in the chat reminding me that I should not open that bag that I plan to bring into Rocktober till Christmas. But then I can't play my team. My team's going to be in the bag, and I need that for October, Aaron. Come on now. All right. But that said, let's start talking about Rocktober as it is just around the corner, and let's take a look at our initial look here. If you want to follow along, it's very easy to get here. You go to hcrealms.com. You click on the ROC tab on the top here, just under Surtur's sword, and then you go to the ROC World Cup link right here, and bada boom, bada bing, here you are watching the same thing that I am, which is the website. But I'm, of course, going to read out a bunch of things for it and the important notes. I think we're going to do this about 1,000 times at some point to kind of drag it home. So, okay, Mike is we got a late joiner here with Mr. Mike Payne. So instead of the ROC World Cup stuff, I'm going to get Mr. Mike Payne in the chat, and we're going to find out how his week was, because it's been a while since we've seen Mr. Michael Payne. But Rocktober is looking to be an exciting weekend. I'm going to be on commentary for a good portion of it, except for on the early parts of the Sunday. I will not be on commentary. I will join at a much later point, depending on, how well I do in the Heroclixing. And Mr. Michael Payne finally graces us with his presence. How you doing, Mr. Payne?
I'm so honored.
I'm so honored.
We were actually just getting over how our weeks were in Heroclix and what we've been up to this week. So we're going to pass that question to you just before we start going into details on the Rocktober.
Okay, cool. Well, I haven't done anything HeroClix-wise this week. I have been up to my eyeballs. We have Just for Laughs 42, or JFL 42 here in Toronto, so I've been running around doing comedy stuff this week. So I'm sad that I missed your guys' updates, because that would have been my only contact with HeroClix up until this point. But go ahead.
All right. So we are going to be talking about Rocktober and all the things we can expect throughout the entire event. It's just a couple weeks away.
Yep.
And let's get going. All right. So I'm going to just make sure this looks half decent. Okay, it does look pretty decent. All right. So everything starts on the Thursday, but the Thursday's kind of a more casual-ish day. The only thing that's actually running is at 7 o'clock. There's a Critical Clicks Championship Team Welcome event. Only 8 teams, which recently actually got up to 12. And this is a team event. It's a booster draft, or sealed, rather. As I found out later, they misused the term booster draft. Teams of 3 players. Each team will receive 6 boosters to build 3 teams of 300 points each, 2 rounds of Swiss, and cut to top 4. Boosters are random from all 15 years of HeroClix.
Oh, that's cool.
Teams will pull blindly from bags of comparable areas and boosters. Each team will get an even amount of area boosters. Details from Critical Clicks. So, for example, Team Lucky Dice pulls 2 packs from the bag of non-carded figures, 2 packs from carded sets 4 years or older, and 2 packs for Modern Era. Team Phoenix Nest will also get to pull the same pull opportunities and amounts. Each non-carded booster will come with a separate but random battlefield condition and feat. And then there are some other silly rules. Only non-HeroClix maps meaning rock maps and any other crazy third party, no stupid small maps. We'll all be using all the new stupid rules that WizKids just unloaded on us. So this is a new rules, old figures in some cases. The winning team gets 50 rock points per player, a round of drinks, and the critical clicks trophy. I can only imagine that's going to look like sadness. The second place team, the first loser, gets 25 tournament points per player. These are, of course, rock points towards getting you into the semifinals. And a free drink for anybody that won the final round, because really, it's the other two idiots that lost this for you, not you. And as a bonus, if any game you win in the semis gets you a free drink. Is this free? No, don't be a drink. It costs us money, $20 per person, $60 per team, so on and so forth. So that's the only thing that's going on the Thursday. Me and Amber are going to be in charge of social media on that. We're not going to be live casting it. Guys, if you had a chance to be in this, how stressful / exciting do you think team building would be on this? Mike, what do you think?
Oh, the team building would be bananas, man. I mean, there's so many options. I mean, you have to pre-plan a lot of it, I would imagine. I think that if I was to be in it, I would say, Jay, please plan this ahead of time.
Jay, he threw you under the bus. What would you do?
Say, hey, Mike, why are you playing the sealed event? You hate those?
All right.
What about you? What would you do?
Well, the way I'm looking at it is I'd count my uncarded boosters as my support. I'd start looking at the modern figures and start building around those and adding little bits from the other stuff, because as you go back in year, this game is very guilty of some level of power creep. But at the same time, a lot of the older sets do have little bits of extra stuff that can go a long way, especially when you consider the non-carded boosters. Those two boosters that you're going to get are only 4 figures each. So you only actually get 8 figures out of those 2 uncarded boosters. Yeah, Mike, at one point, we only got 4 figures per pack.
And you still played? All right.
Sealed was also a 3-pack event. But yeah, so it sounds like a ton of fun. I wish I could have got in on it. But I can't wait to watch people just losing their minds trying to build. This figure doesn't have a card. That's right, it doesn't. Or you know what? Somebody's gonna get even worse. Is I can imagine somebody getting a Fantastic Forces booster.
Oh no!
Because those were only 3 figure packs.
Oh, God.
Because 2 slots are taken up by either a giant or a double base figure.
Oh, the lockjaws.
So, but you'll get something like the rookie Hawkeye, who's just terrible from that. Oh, man. All right. So then we move into the Friday. Starting at 10 a.m., you have Battle Royales and Rock and Rolls and Hard Rocks. For those of you unfamiliar, the Rock and Rolls are basically Battle Royales that get you rock points. The actual Battle Royales are, as they explain, Battle Royales. No rock points on the line on those. And then you got the $10 Hard Rocks, which are constructed chances at extra rock points. The events themselves, so a Rock and Roll is 4-man sealed Battle Royale. First place gets 25 points, second place gets 10, third and fourth place get 5th. That's $15 per person. The Hard Rocks, 8-man tournament, single elimination. You win, you go on, you lose, you're out. And then, of course, like I said, Battle Royales are just going to be provided as a con-exclusive type thing or a prize at the end. I'm not sure how they prize them myself. We'll see when we get there. Excuse me. All right, then we move into 11 o'clock a.m., which will be a super qualifier. So it's kind of like a last chance super qualifier. It's 300-point Rock Age limited. So Rock Age is anything from Superman and older, and it is limited, so you don't get your resources ID cards, colossals, like bigger than peanut-based figures. And this is one of those ones that's kind of that last chance for glory, if you will. We're hoping to get commentary started on this one. It will depend on the computer equipment. But Jay, this Rock Age limited, 300 points. What are you looking at? What do you think is going to wreck house in this?
Oh Christ! Is this gonna have the same ban list as?
Because it's limited, I don't think it is gonna have the ban list.
So, like last year, why would I not just play Krang Bat Knight?
Good point.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. I do remember
Yeah,
Craig,
well, I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
no, it's okay.
I think it was actually. I don't think it was one. No, it's not the guy I'm thinking of. But I do remember talking to the guy who was playing that team. Me and Tom just looking at that, going, "Well, yeah, that's about. Yeah, that just okay. That happened. Yep." Like we were both on commentary, just flabbergasted. What do you do against that? It's insane.
Yeah, I remember before that I had actually came up with the team with Jordan, and we were both like, "Wait, literally, what beats this? Like, how do you fight? What?"
We do have some ideas in the chat coming from Aaron. Aaron does suggest Mole Man, Zombie, Super Skrull, and Goblin King.
Oh God!
And Aaron, you are poison.
Who's surprised to hear Aaron talking about Super Skrull? Anybody?
Nope.
You might have won him a tournament or something. You don't blame him, do you? Maybe, I don't know. But that should be a lot of fun to watch commentary. Hopefully, it's really good. Aaron's team, Aaron did want to remind us that is a monster theme, and I do believe monster theme is also going to show its way back in the modern limited format when we talk about in a bit. But also at 8:30 p.m. the dinner and show. It's $15 entry, 80 seats available for the dinner. It's a dinner mystery theater kind of thing, and this is run by Scott Crampton's acting troupe, as it were. It was a ton of fun last year listening to Scott overact his butt off and run the mystery event, and watching some of Heroclix's best known celebrities dressed up in wacky outfits, sharing a table with Edward Sheldon. And he was wearing a cape. It was quite fabulous.
Yeah, the Murder Mystery Company does a good job.
Yeah, they're pretty fantastic. And then at midnight, there's going to be a 600-point Golden Age tournament. No resources, no starting equipment, no feats, battlefield conditions, no relics, special objects other than outlined. Your force must include 3 objects at no cost that are 50 points or less that do not count as standard objects for normal object placement. On your first turn, you must place each of these special objects one square of clear terrain at least 6 squares from your starting area. Oh, on a square of clear terrain at least 6 squares from your starting area. You cannot equip your own special objects. If your opponent equips any of your objects, they score additional 50 points minus the point cost of the object. These objects cannot be destroyed, placed, moved, picked up, replaced, or removed from the game by any effect. Holy smokes. Okay, I'm done describing that.
So would Mr. Nobody just still work, or that's when you're placing during setup specifically?
This is why I don't like super complex events. I appreciate the people who design these events, but you got to think of your contingencies in these situations. But what would you play in this? Would you play something fast and try to get their objects quick, or do you play a little bit more defensively, protect your objects, and force them to crush against your forces, then slowly trickle your way towards their stuff?
I mean, Astral Stranges only cost 13 points.
Yeah, that's true.
This Golden Age?
It's Golden Age.
But you can't use double time. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I'm sure you could just like throw things that can just pick up the objects and then just do other stuff on top of that.
Yep. Any thoughts there on what you would play, Mike, given a Golden Age?
Bananas, man. I am not a very good source of knowledge for Golden Age. I must admit. Kyle Rayner? No.
Okay.
Just to bring some stuff back from the past.
You know what? I think to myself, I would probably use Nightcrawler, and instead of use him to get to my opponent's objects, I would use him to keep my opponent away from mine.
Might use Jack Frost. But.
Brother Voodoo would make that. Oh well, I guess mind control isn't as good now.
No, yeah, because if you're on the new rules, mind control just doesn't work.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Should be a lot of fun. It is at midnight, so you psychopaths are willing to play and aren't playing in the next morning's events, which we'll talk about in a second. It's going to be a lot of fun. And heck, you know what? If you're staying in the hotel, no harm in playing all day, man, because your bed's just upstairs. All right. So next up, we go to the Saturday. At 9 a.m. is when your side events, the battle royales, the rock and rolls, and the hard rocks start up. And then we hit, as well at 9 a.m., the team event starts. It's $90 for 6 boosters for 3 players. So each team costs $90 $30 a head. 300 points sealed. Each team shares 6 boosters, builds up 3 points of teams. 1 team for each player. Each team will play matches versus other teams via Swiss play and cut the top 8. And then the top 8 will actually play later in that day. Now, we have it on very important and figured out authority that this is going to be the Mighty Thor. What are your bombs in the Mighty Thor, Mike?
Bombs in the Mighty Thor. They're not including super boosters, obviously. Come back. Probably Hulk. I would say he's a big bomb in that particular set, or of course any of the chases, or not any of the chases, but a couple of the chases like Beta Ray Bill, or yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm so out of it. Jay, what do you think?
Not many fantastic rares in this set, actually, but both Scourge and regular Executioner can do some work. Super rares, obviously, Title Thor is just a monster. Hulk, super rare, Maestro. Oh my God, Zeus is a monster and a half. You should have enough Eternals on your sideline for Unimind to work. Most of the chases, if you're like me and your packs involve just rares, which has happened to me in these kinds of events, you're not going to have a good time, unfortunately. Although there are some good Hulks in the commons uncommons. So yeah, it's a pretty solid sealed environment. So that's something to look forward to.
Well, Nathaniel in the Discord chat has also mentioned that Odin did a story. Now, one of the things, it is worth mentioning chases, super rares, and primes, because when you get to a team event, every team is 3 people. Each group of 3 people is 6 packs. 6 packs, and I think last year they had, 40 teams, 50 teams playing in the event at the ROC Cup. So 50 teams times 6 packs, that's 300 packs bound to be open. That's a lot of bricks.
In this set especially, because the super boosters make rare stuff more common. So
that's right.
Yeah. Good set for that.
The big thing will be the super boosters hanging out all over the place. I wonder what they're planning to do with them. I know a guy commentating about watch them. Sorry, that's cold here. All right. If you're not playing in the team's event, at noon there will be a constructed side event, 3 or 4 rounds of Swiss. A lot of these don't have cuts except for the major events. So the constructed side event will be a 400-point modern limited tournament. That's starting at noon, which leads into 3 o'clock, the semifinals. Now, in order to get to this, the semifinals is 4 rounds of Swiss. That is it, and then the top half get to go into the final event on the next day. It is you need either 50 ROC points to get in, so you've either accumulated those through Hard Rocks or you've gotten them through ROC events in your local tournaments, or you've earned a bye. How do you get a bye? Well, you either win a super qualifier, you win a states / provincials events, or you've won a regional. But I think if you win a regional, you go straight to the final. If you won a national cup, you go straight to the final. And that's kind of the lay of the land on that. At 3 o'clock as well, there's going to be another sealed tournament, 3 or 4 rounds of Swiss. Now, I'm going to be covering on this day, it looks like I'm going to be running the team sealed and the semifinals on the Twitch stream. So we'll keep an eye open for that. Keep an eye on our social media as well. We'll make sure you guys know where the Twitch streams are happening and everything like that. You're not going to see it here on our YouTube. You're going to see it on our Facebook, on our Twitters, on HC Realms Twitter. We're going to be live updating a HC Realms thread on the front page as well, is our hopes and dreams. So, but the semifinal is 400-point modern limited. Modern limited is, of course, everything that's modern except for resources, colossals, and ID cards. Special objects will be allowed as long as they're not part of the build and starting. It's just a weird thing about it.
Well, select colossals too, because there's still, you do have a single base colossal, I think.
There's a single. I mean, your 2x2 colossals. Anything bigger than a peanut base. Basically.
Most of them.
Yeah. There's one colossal that Mike praises so very often and just never seems to show up.
No.
Stiltman, still not going to make it, Mike. Sorry.
Shut up. God damn it.
But what do you guys think? 400 points limited. It's a very different environment. This is going to be our first look at limited since the cut from Worlds. So, Jay, what do you think is going to dominate this year in the limited?
Dominate, I have no clue, because this is kind of a almost a new format considering we haven't had one of these tournaments since rule changes. But I can guarantee you, when I'm playing this, you will see a Jakeem Thunder, you will see a full dial KC Green Lantern, which is 310 points, and then some filler.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. Mike, what are your thoughts on it?
Sinister Syndicate.
Yeah.
You're boring, and I hate you.
You're boring. Yeah, definitely some Syndicate out there. I mean, mad amounts of outwit for sure.
All right, interesting. Now, the way I see it as well, there is the lingering thought that Mr. Nobody could be a thing in this. Because a lot of people are going to try to take advantage of the fact that you can use special objects unlimited, and people are also going to say, you know what, I'm going to use Mr. Nobody. As well, I'd expect Unimind alongside Ajax using the same idea, where you got a really strong front line in both those characters, as well as control of where the objects are going to go. You'll also get double prod from Ajax. Ajax is not a bad fighter himself, and Unimind isn't equipping these characters. He's just putting them on the sideline. Very strong, very potent character that could really shake things up in this format, if you ask me.
Maybe politician theme team too.
Maybe.
Are you Tom?
Maybe it'll get political.
That sounds like fake news.
Yeah. Fake news, yeah. Well done.
Also, during that time, if you happen to be already qualified for the finals or are just bored and want to do something, check out the sealed event. That's going to be $30 2 boosters, 300 points, sealed. Get some Thor going. All right. Next up will be the team finals at 7:30. That's the top 8 teams play from Swiss, playing single elimination. This is also your chance to get some more Battle Royales in, get some more stuff. And it looks like this night kind of ends a little early after this team finals, which will be 3 rounds. So about 10:30 p.m., things kind of wrap up because at 10 a.m., Battle Royale start up, but then it's the finals, ladies and gentlemen. The final event for the ROC Cup, the big kahuna, as it were, big kahuna. 4 rounds of Swiss and a cut to the top 32. The cost is 200 ROC points, or a buy into the finals, which is two of the things, or you got advancement from the semifinals. It is just 300-point modern, and then after the 4 rounds of Swiss, I'm not sure about this noon thing, but the consolation tournament. Oh no, the consolation tournament will be for those who didn't get into the finals. It's free entry, 300-point modern. Go ahead and give it a try. Then at 2 o'clock, lunch break for top 32, and then 3 p.m., the top 32 is ready to go. So yeah, that's ROC Cup in a nutshell. I'm going to be there mostly on camera. I will be playing in the final. I have accrued 100 ROC points in addition to my qualification from the provincial championships in Quebec. So I'm in a good place. So a lot of my weekend is going to be on camera or having some fun with you guys as we figure out our schedule. And next week, we're going to share our planned schedule with you guys. Now, Mike, you're not going to be able to make it this year again, you said?
No. I have some paid stuff I have to do.
You got to go be a funny man for money?
I got to go make jokes for money.
He's got to get that funny money. He's got the funny money.
Gotta get that funny money. I'm just following my dreams, buddy.
That's what you do. That's why I make video games.
That's it. Sounds done.
Jay, you're going to be at ROC Cup, though.
I am totally going to be there, flying in very early on the Friday morning because I did not get into the Critical Clixed event, sadly, because Kevin didn't reserve me a spot along with him. We'll just have to play in the sealed event, Team Sealed again together.
Cool. Awesome. As I've made it very clear, myself and Amber will be there. Tom is planning on coming as well, unless he bails at the last second. And I don't know, he's prone for that. Or he's going to bail at the last second and then show up at the last second and be like, it was all a swerve. Tom, stop watching pro wrestling.
He is supposed to be with in a hotel with Mike White and I, so he shouldn't bail.
Sounds kinky. Tom is a good snuggler, by the way.
That's hot.
Oh, yeah. I remember Quebec. That was the best.
You don't have to worry about sharing a blanket with him, let me tell you, because he lets you take it. Still, one of the funniest things was Tom's reaction to me just taking all of the blankets. in our first trip to Worlds. All right. This week, and I'm glad Mike did manage to get in on the show today because I did want to run a quick debate.
Sure.
And Mike likes to call himself a master debater.
All right.
All right.
Oh.
And apparently I just looked up, I tried to start up NotePaid. That is not a thing. But this week, the new rules are out. We've all of us have had a chance to either play, judge, et cetera, in them. And I kind of want to debate the good or the bad. Are the new rules great for competitive play or bad for competitive play? And, again, as we stress very often with these debates, and also these guys are going to be picking as I choose their order as well. So I've actually got an RNG coin flipper over here that decides who's going first. And we'll just pull that up right now. It's actually, all you have to do is just go Google coin flip. Oh, look at that. All right. So we're going to go and share this. Jay, you're going to call it in the air. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Heads.
It is tails, so Mike will be choosing first. All right. So you guys, you're going to get a minute. Start off with your opening argument each, and then 30 seconds for rebuttals. And then another 30 seconds. I think we do it. Is that how we do it? I'm messing up Tom's rules. And then another 30 seconds for your closing arguments. So I'm going to pull up the timer right now for Mr. Mike.
And which side am I arguing? What?
That's up to you. It's the second you start is when you get to choose.
I will argue that it is good for. For strictly competitive play. I'll say it's good for strictly competitive play.
All right, Mike. In regards to the new rules and how they work for competitive play, you have 1 minute on the clock, starting now.
Well, the word "good" doesn't really go far enough. Now, does it? I mean, realistically, weren't the rules just kind of crap before? I mean, it really just was not inclusive at all for any new competitive players in particular. I mean, isn't the competitive scene further enriched by the influx of new players? Essentially, yeah, they all start out as filthy casuals, but they end up just trying to beat each other's asses. I mean, ass-beatery is a good term for it, isn't it? Like, really, that's what we need. More ass-beatery in the Clixed.
I'm going to go ahead and turn off.
Plus, there's Outwit, right? Outwit is amazing now. Prob is not as amazing. But isn't that just justice at its core? Like, really, just ice when you break down that word.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to go ahead and turn our monetization off now. Unless we're going to move to a more donkey-focused show.
It was donkeys. I didn't say any Fs or Cs.
And Mike, whoa. I did discuss. I didn't want to start a donkey show.
Whoa.
All right, Jay. 6 seconds on the clock.
I don't understand.
Why are the new rules not good for the game?
Am I good to go?
Started. 6 seconds on the clock now.
Okay. Remember when ID cards were pretty unbalanced? They were like a thing we all had to deal with. They were like, okay. And then we do you mind?
I got him.
Thank you. So it was gonna be, Mike.
Don't look at his face. You only have 40 seconds.
Yeah, so we thought ID cards were more balanced in the new rules with the whole beginning of the turn shtick not working. Like no retaliating and doing it, no Gene Graying and doing it, no a lot of things and doing it. But now they are better in every conceivable way. That point alone, just, oh my god, just the ramifications of what ID cards can do now. We thought they were going to be a little more balanced, but now they're better in every single way. Literally every single way. And now everybody's Gene Gray if they have TK, among other things like, new rules being complicated and whatnot. Oh, I hate Mike so much. That's about it.
And time. Ladies and gentlemen, you've all seen Mike's vinegar strokes now. And Mike, I did mute you, so you can probably unmute yourself. We're actually going to give you guys... 45 seconds for your rebuttals, mostly because, one, I like saying the word rebut. And I want to give you a little bit of time to articulate the counterpoints. So, Mike, 45 seconds. Why is Jay wrong?
Well, because he's Jay, and that's wrong. I mean, come on. I'm anti-Jay all the time, every day. But also, don't ID cards make the game a more rich and inviting environment for figures on the board? Like, don't you just want to play with more of your Marvel and DC superheroes, let alone TMNT? Let's not forget about the Turtles. I need a turtle on my board right now. I'm done.
Wow.
Oh, Mike, with 10 seconds remaining, pontificating trying to, as it were, appeal to this audience here, as I am a big Ninja Turtles fan. But Jay, why is Mike wrong? 45 seconds on the clock.
I don't know what to say because I don't think he even made any valid points.
How does Tom run these?
What did he even say? I don't even know.
ID cards are great. Sideline stuff on the board.
Yeah, the basic game is basically the same, except that everything that was supposed to become worse is better now, and everything that was kind of a staple of the game is worse. Like certain combos that were very prevalent, like hypersonic super strength, isn't a thing anymore, and that was just a classic. And the more options you take away, the more limited you make the environment, the more stale it's going to get. So. And how many non-games have won recent big events?
All right.
Was it 0? Okay.
All right. So that was your counterpoints. We're going to go 30 seconds on the clock for closing arguments. We're going to start with Mike, if Mike is done with his vinegar strokes. And 30 seconds, closing arguments, Mike.
Well, basically, this game needs more players. It needs more players at a competitive level, and that is fed by the casual level as well as any sealed environments that exist out there. Let's make this game a little easier to understand for people. More easily understood game means more people, means bigger competitive scene, means that Jay has more people to play against. I mean, isn't it that simple? Shouldn't we just play more?
All right. Jay, 30 seconds on the clock, sir. Go ahead.
I guess my basic conclusion is that what the new rules did was make a lot of things worse and make what was already good better. So we're just going to see a staler competitive scene, which might turn people off who want to start and then get into competitive, but when they realize that it's just the stale environment, they're not going to necessarily even want to. Casual will be more or less the same, though, so that's fine. Those guys exist still. But, yeah, we're just seeing everything that we already had and was annoying and problematic just become that much worse, unfortunately.
All right. And, Mike, you're going to want to mop up the floor after some of those faces I just saw. I think I put the wrong person in charge of how the new rules are a good thing, because, God, are they really great. The game, for me, the game feel has been good. But Jay does bring up some good points. Is they haven't changed anything, really. Or more of the same is just more different or less different, more powerful, more potent. It's really a weird thing. There's goods and there's bads. And the goods are, my God, is this game easy to understand now? The bads are that certain things got a little bit more powerful, and even though other things got more powerful, they're not powerful enough to stop what was already pretty dominant. Jakeem is out there in force still, but he's winning because of familiarity to a certain degree. And Unimind is starting to creep up on him, along with other ID card builds. Pat on my back there. We're creeping on you, Jakeem. We're creeping on you. Yeah, it's an interesting environment, and having played in it, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the games I have played, and the intensity of the game has changed massively. So, thanks, guys, for doing that for me and suffering what we just suffered. But on that note, we're going to be moving into fan questions on the Facebook very shortly. But is there anything you guys want to say before we move on to that portion and I talk about the Patreon? Mike?
I love land. All right.
Jay?
I'm sad that Lamp is less good now because Thunderstrike object exists and makes my Mastermind Joker a sad Lamp callback.
We wanted a Lamp back. We lost Lamp. What the heck, guys? Come on now. You gave it to us, and then you took it away. But, folks, we have been getting occasional messages on our Patreon Discord throughout this show. If you want to join in on our Patreon-only Discord, check us out at patreon.com/marriedwithclicks. Any level of patronage gets you access to the Patreon Discord, as well as our Patreon Hangouts. Our next Hangout is planned sometime around Rocktober. We're not sure if we're going to do it at Rocktober and try to do like a thing from our hotel room, or if we're just going to do it like the week after and kind of wrap things up from there. We're still in the deciding phases of that, but it is going to be about the second week of October. As well, if you are a patron for a while now, your August and July action tokens are in the mail, so you should be receiving those soon. I sent them out this morning. I also found some that I meant to send in like October. Sorry, Pedro. Oh, man. Because he told me to hold on to them until I collected enough for him to make it worth sending. And I was like, I'm sitting on 2 for him. Let's get them out there. To the poor guy. But again, patreon.com/marriedwithclicks. $5 a month. $1 a month gets you access to the Patreon Hangout and the Patreon Discord. $5 a month gets you early access to our recorded content. As you see, we've been putting out more and more of that on a regular basis. Metafix is back in action. Dial it up. Amber has revamped the show and has talked about how she's going to be moving forward. Superlex and learning how to play Heroclix with an 8-year-old girl has started. So if an 8-year-old girl can figure this game out, guys, I think you can too. All right. With that said, let's start talking about our questions from the fans on Facebook. And our first question comes from the man, and oh my God, I've been using it as a coaster. I'm the worst showrunner ever. And but it's going to leave a mark. You can't see that because of my light. Official stamp of Mr. Chris Stockhouse. We have a question from him. Put a stamp on that. He says, which maps do we think will show up most often at ROC Cup? Any more recent maps going to see play? Also, sorry to Amber for my map category question on Clixed Off Jeopardy. I didn't think they were too hard, but I was the one writing them. I'll be rooting for Jay in the finals. Ouch. 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 No love for me. But you have him rooting for you there, Chris. But as far as maps are concerned, well, I mean, I'm hoping anybody who's got a boxing ring currently has the sporting arena, and that would cause for that to show up. Wakanda has been a regular from what I've seen, and of course this is a major ROC event, so ROC maps are going to be pretty prevalent. So yeah, apparently Nathaniel thinks Wakanda is going to be it. He's sent it a couple times in the Discord. Mike, your thoughts?
I'd love to see more of Pat's map from his the Filipino jungle one. I think it's really cool, and it has really cool orange text on it. What was it may be Wakanda, I can't remember. What's the one that has the -2 in the hindering?
That is Wakanda, yeah, or +2
that is Wakanda.
Defense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the one I'd probably bank on most of the time. Maybe some cargo ship too.
Cool. Yeah, cargo ship's a pretty good one. Jay, your thoughts?
That new, well, actually, it's hard to say how calm that new maze map is going to be because there's like 10 in existence right now.
But the actual number is like 15.
Okay, but that's still a pretty small number.
I think it's crazy though.
That thing is going to be annoying. What else is good anymore? I don't even know anymore. This game is just so funky now. Whatever makes you mind happy. That's
yeah.
Whatever makes you. So Wakanda. And guys, check your team. Be ready. And yes, Nathaniel, the maze map is the one we were talking about. Be ready for the WizKids office, of course. Because if you don't have the maze map, the WizKids office is your equal opportunity option. Equal opportunity? I don't know. Similar in vein to the map. It's got a lot of the same strengths and or weaknesses. All right. Next up, Stephen Clark Jr. If you call in an ID card, can that ID card carry the character that called them in? Jade, can ID card characters still carry?
Well, they could carry before. They just couldn't be carried.
Yeah, I asked if they still could. Still
As
carry.
far as I know, that's not been changed. So yeah.
Yeah, they
But
can
keep
carry.
in mind.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, keep in mind how carry rules work now, where basically you can't just poof like you used to. You actually have to get outside of the 5 range.
Yep.
You can't just be like, I'm gonna carry Lex Luthor, and then wait, where'd Superman go? I guess he left. Oh well. Yeah, I can't really do that anymore.
Better off just walking away because the new carry rules are move and then place the carried character adjacent. There's none of this take them off the map and they're in the middle of the movement, but they're not on the map kind of thing. No. You move the character who's moving, they declare that they're carrying this guy, and then you place the carried character adjacent to that character.
Just walk away.
Just walk away. It's actually a habit I still got to get out of, is taking the figure that I'm carrying off the map. I got to get used to not doing that so that I know where that character was. Catch my meaning. All right. Christopher Smotherman, what one rule change or mistake because of a rule change will cause more games to be lost during the Cup? I say it's going to be TK, as it's a little wonky in ways and easy to mess up positioning under the new rules, in my opinion. And lots of luck at the Cup. Mike, what do you think is going to get? Do you think there's any rules that are still kind of not everybody understands them properly, or they're going to mess up using them?
I think it's just beginning at certain stuff is the main piece of it. So, not being able to choose things that don't have the underline, I guess, or how Peggy Carter may make an appearance because people don't know that she's useless now.
Yeah. She's pretty much worthless as an ID card character, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah, somebody's going to have a Jakeem, and they're going to have like a Carnage, and they're going to retaliate and be like, Spaghetti-O, no powers on Jakeem. I have seen it happen. I felt bad, but I was like, "This is a competitive game, so you're kind of sorry."
Dice rolls define my cutoff points. That's the way I work it. Like, if you've rolled dice, I'm sorry, I cannot let you take it back. It's effectively letting you prov, etc. So, I generally let people take things back to a certain degree, and that is like once you've rolled some dice. I'm sorry.
I also want to be as nice as possible, but there's only so much take back we can do before. Yeah.
Jason from the first Canada Cup in the side event. No takesy backsies. It just flashed through my head.
No gives you backsies.
No gives that.
It's like, here, you got your fingers back, slap them on the floor. They're yours now. That's how I get rid of my extra.
That was a little inside. Yeah.
But yeah, that TK thing, I watched a lot of people screw it up. Like, they were trying to still use the main TKers range as like where the character is going to end up, but that's really just determining the maximum space from that character you can get. You can still only move a maximum of 6 squares from the character actually being TK'd. It's a weird interaction that people don't quite understand yet, but it's actually it's a lot more simple than people give it credit for at the moment. All right. Next up, McConnell Lamar. He sent us a little picture to give us some heads up as to what we think. There are 4 title characters right now. He wants us to rank the title characters in Heroclix. Okay, so if it was me, right now the Merc with the mouth is cool, but he sits at a solid 3 because he's great but not super great. Number 4, I have to give to Loki, Agent of Asgard, because I'm not fully comfortable with him just yet, and I don't think he really stands out as super potent. I do think Thor Odinson has got a lot of potential damage, especially with the ability to possibly do 8 damage in a turn. And then number 1 is Earth's Guardian, because prob, extra damage, he's just so good. Mike?
I would follow suit, except I would flip Thor with Strange.
So you put Thor number 1 and Strange in number 2?
Yeah, I would do that, yeah.
All right. Jay?
I'm biased against Strange because he beat me at Vegas. He didn't let me...
Sounds like that should make him better.
Ironically, yeah. But that Doctor Strange stopped a Canadian from winning in Vegas. So, yeah, I feel like your ranking's pretty solid, but I might want to do Thor for... I don't know. I feel like... I kind of wanted to say Deadpool when I looked at it before, but yeah, he and Nighthawk haven't been seen for a reason. Like, there's not much going on there. So let's say Thor, Strange, Deadpool, then Loki.
Yeah. I was wishy-washy on Thor and Deadpool and where I placed them. But Deadpool just let me down in a tournament so badly that I was just like, yeah, you know what? You lose a mark for that. Thor hasn't had a chance to let me down yet. All right. Looks like that covers us in the Facebook. So if you guys are in the live chat right now, put in capital letters question, because you guys have been busy in the chat today, in front of your question so that I notice your question in the chat. And the first one we got here is Thomas Chung. I was looking over the new pack. Is it possible to use range combat expert while doing a running shot? No, because running shot allows a range and close combat is a power. So it's a power to activate running shot that allows a range, whereas range combat expert is a power that you make a range attack with. All right. Aaron puts question, took my girlfriend to sidekick event. Do I keep pushing her to play or let it evolve naturally? Well, you're asking the wrong guy in this case because I met my wife and she already knew how to play Heroclix. Mike, what do you think?
Keep it separate. This is your time, buddy. You know? You just got to keep it separate.
Jay?
It's hard to say without information or more information regarding how she enjoyed it. So it's I can't really give a good answer without sufficient stuff.
If I was to play a little bit of psychology with it, people are naturally oppositional. So if you push it too hard, God damn it. You might actually turn her off.
Are you saying if you push it real good, you might turn her off? I don't know.
If you push it good, push it real good, you're gonna be fine. But if you do it too much, you're gonna turn her off. Game's over. So, pique her interest. If she's interested, it will grow naturally. If it didn't kick in on that sidekick event, though, it's the first taste. First taste of blood is the best taste of blood that you can get of them, and then they'll become acclimated and enjoy it. If they don't risk your marriage trying to push and play Heroclix.
It's the weirdest vampire explanation ever.
It was actually more or less going with guard dogs on that, but
Gotcha.
it's probably a better idea. All right, Tom Dewey. What's going to make Beta Ray Bill viable in Modern? The cuts. But beyond that, he's kind of viable right now to a certain degree. You just got to know what you're doing with him and kind of build with him in mind. It's kind of the way I see it. Mike, your thoughts?
Say that again.
Beta Ray Bill in Modern, is he viable? Or how do you make him viable in Modern?
I'm not as familiar with him as I should be, actually, at this point. So, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to pass.
All right, Jay.
I think you pretty much got to play him like Trinity War Luther style. Just he's a call-in battery, comes with his own prob, carrier and around with like actually wait, Overdrive isn't necessarily viable or as viable anymore, and he's the only super taxi that can carry flyers. But assuming Overdrive works, I would do like him, Overdrive, some other supporty / other call-in stuff, and then call it a day because you don't want him to get retaliated on because that is a nightmare considering those are all close attacks.
All right. So there's options. You can make it happen. If you feel like you're putting too much into it, step back a bit, see if you can try again. But all right, I think I covered all the questions. So on our way out, guys, if there's anything you want to say, I'm going to be doing our ad read right after this. So Mike, anything you want to do, say on the way out?
Not really. I mean, I've been kind of out of it for a little while. It's just nice to be back on the show, and it's nice to answer a few questions if I could. But I'll have to get a little bit more play in just to get back into action here and redeem myself post my 1-3. Or what? No, sorry. Yeah, it was 1-3 before I dropped in the Canada Cup.
All right, Jay.
I think you're gonna cover everybody I do work for anyway, so I don't have anything.
Everybody
Actually,
works for.
Actually, that reminds me. I guess one thing I changed my HC Realm signature recently to what did I say? If you're reading a HeroClix article, there's a 50% chance that I wrote it.
You should actually do the real math on that and find out if that's really accurate. Because the real math is actually probably more provable than the 50%. It's like, really? Is it 50%? I don't know.
No, it's not. No, the math, no way.
I mean, go on Reddit/r/they did the math, and then you'll be a hero. All right, guys. But we do want to take a second to thank our sponsors over at hcrealms.com, the source for all things Heroclix. We love this site. We're on the site almost all the time when it comes to figuring things out, especially when I need to figure out what the rules are or what the character's powers are that I've forgotten in my old age. So you get the forums. This is where the conversation is happening, what people are talking about in regards to Heroclix in general. The unit section, where people are checking out their figures, building their teams. Jason J likes to troll me on Metal Lab with their chat, apparently. You can track your collection, build your teams. It's a really cool, really useful tool. I mean, you just hit this little plus, boom, that figure's on your team. The points are added on your total. Add another figure. Look at that. You don't even have to do the math yourself. You don't have to pull out all the cards that are annoying. It's a really super useful tool. Check out your ROC events on the ROC tab. Find out what's local to you. But, of course, the big one coming around the corner is the ROC World Cup. Check out the ROC World Cup tab for more information on that if you couldn't get what we were talking about earlier today. I traded a range of trades, use the chat to chat, and annoy Jason, apparently. Groups for people who like to organize on their social media stuff. And then click on the shop, buy some cool stuff such as ROC map packs, cool T-shirts, etc. And put in the coupon code MARRIED for 10% off your purchase. A little bit goes to kick back to the show. As well, check us out at majesticccg.com/apex-insiders. This is the brain trust of Heroclix players that are pretty fantastic and me. So you get great insights from players such as AJ Pfeiffer, George Masu, Adam Friedman. All these players are really good at the game and have won notable tournaments or done well in tournaments or are notable in the Heroclix media. Easton Brock is up here. PJ Boland's here. Jay is a regular contributor to the site. He's also a regular contributor to HC Realms front page. Check it out. Look at that. Chameleon Disguise tips and tricks right here. Check out what Jay is talking about in regards to the Chameleon, and that was posted. I think that looks like it was posted today.
Mm-hmm.
So check that out. $3 a month gets you access to the premium site, but if you check out the homepage on its own, majestics.com or majesticsccg.com, you will get access to the free stuff, which will include tournament updates, tournament results, etc., such as the incorrectly titled Kevin Osorio, who was actually Jason Osorio, which was later corrected in the article. You're welcome, Patrick. Who won the Canada Cup, and see who we know from there, like Jason Collins or Mike White. We've all seen them on the show before. Might have to get Mr. Sean Chu, who got second there sometime. Might have to have Mr. Jason Osorio on sometime for his win. We'll see what goes with that. But on that note, guys, it's been a heck of a time. Good to have you back, Mike. Good to have some voices on here.
yeah. Sorry, I've been so out of it lately, guys. I hope to be on a little more often.
Yeah. Anything on your way out there, Jay?
This show was about 4 times as long as I would have expected.
You know, that's the wonderful thing about Heroclix is the conversation is always going on. There's always things to talk about. The game molds. Our minds mold. We continue to discuss things. Sometimes we find ourselves repeating ourselves, but repeating ourselves is part of the process because that process is about repetition and learning, and repetition and learning is practice. And guys, can't stress enough, practice
makes
your
team
better.
Have a good night, everybody.